cocktails and we could have spent an hour of casual conversation and discuss the same thing we're going to discuss over the next couple of hours here. Well, the idea was to have it in a slightly more formalized manner, and I guess by the time I'm through, it'll be clear why we're doing this. To very quickly introduce a couple of things. IIFM believes in two things. One is innovation. The other is thought leadership. While we've been working with corporates on the innovation platform, we felt, or rather our thinking felt, that it's important that we start contributing on thought leadership. Last month, IIFM got ranked as the #1 emerging business school in India by the Competition Success Review, and frankly, I felt it was too early for us. Because, in my mind, you need to have contributed way much more, on both leadership and innovation to have got that kind of a ranking. But well, who's complaining? I am not. So, thanks to Competition Success Review. Let's talk about education. History of education. The history of education is the history of teaching and learning both. If you look at it, over the generations, over the last 2,000-3,000 years, people like you and I have been passing over knowledge through generations. We've been doing it in different ways. 5,000 years back it was done very differently. We do it differently today. Today we write it. And there are books. People read those books and they know what happened 100, 200 years back. But go back to the time when there weren't any books, there wasn't any papers, there wasn't any writing. They were still learning. People were still passing values, skills, knowledge, and competence down generation by generation. Imagine a world where learning was not being passed down. And I can assure you there would be no world. There would be chaos. I believe if you show me the curriculum of education in any country, most people will be able to tell you the state of that country. Because content or curriculum mirrors the age in which it is built. Let me give you an example. What do you think is the oldest civilization in the world? Apart from India. I know we believe we are the oldest, but apart from India.
Greek.
Egypt, let's start with Egypt. How do you think education happened in Egypt? Of course, they developed the papyrus paper, but how was education disseminated there? Any guesses? No, memorization. You had to memorize stuff. If you could not memorize it, your teacher would whip you. I see a few guys shaking their heads, students. Your teachers would whip you. Now that mirrored Egyptian society at that time, wherein there was tremendous distance between faculty, which means power, student, which means not that powerful. Okay? Look at Sparta, ancient Greece. The moment you were 7 years old, you would be thrown out of the house. You would spend the next 10 years of your life learning to be a warrior. Look at the Spartan era. It was important to do that at that time, because if you didn't, well, you really didn't know whether you would survive more than a week. So the education mirrored the era. Post-Sparta, look at Athens, again in Greece. Greeks believed that if you had to be an ideal citizen of the world, you needed to know a lot more than just to be a warrior. So that's where philosophy came in, science came in, astronomy came in, math came in. It's no surprise that some of the best people, the best scientists, the best mathematicians actually originated out of Greece. Again, the education system mirrored the era. Rome, no philosophy, no math, no science. I'm talking about way back the era of Caesar and Cassius and the rest of the gang. You know what they specialized in? Any guesses? Romans, education. What was the focus on? Yes, Como? Yeah, debate and discussion. You know why? Because the most powerful thing you could do at that time was to be a Senate member. So Romans were encouraged from childhood to focus on debate, public speaking, discussions. Again, education mirrored the era. We are standing here today, 23rd November, Tuesday, 2010. For the last many years, education has moved from one-way dissemination to collective understanding and sharing of ideas. Today is the era of seminars. It's the era of discussion and learning by discussion. I believe if you can put in a bunch of intelligent, logical people in a room and allow them freedom, most of the times they'll end up conquering the world. Some of the time they'll end up destroying the world. That brings me to the iLEAD seminar. Our purpose was to encourage 30, 40 highly intelligent thought leaders to be in a room, share ideas, and with those ideas, along with you, the IIFM Think Engine will develop a paper which can then be shared with the industry as a small contribution from IIFM to industrial growth. With that, I'd like to declare the session open and pass it on to Jeremy. Thank you so much.